Hey man, what it do, UT? What it do? Zombie just came out. You know what I'm saying? 32 minutes from Prestige's Key. Make sure you go subscribe to Prestige Key. 32 minutes, man. Let's get straight into it. Subscribe to me too. We on that way to 4K. Are you excited for the game? Me personally, yes. It's a new game. I don't care what it is. It can be Madden, Call of Duty 2K, a new Fortnite, a new For Honor. It don't matter. New GTA. It don't matter. At the end of the day, it's a video game. It's my hobby. It's my hobby that I like to do. So, Shannon, go crazy. Let's get into the zombies updates. All you see it all.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hopefully,
it.
you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're dropping some more Black Ops 7 information. We're talking zombies because we got a brand new trailer alongside a huge blog post. There's going to be a lot to cover, so make sure to check out those timestamps down below. I want to start off by saying that we got an official announcement. The Black Ops 7 beta is also going to feature zombies. This is the first time that we're getting a zombies beta ever in franchise history. So that is really, really cool. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But I think even before we jump into the information, I just simply want to say on a personal note, I'm actually really excited to play zombies. The trailer looks phenomenal. I love the fact that we got to hear all of the OG characters' voices, including the new Takio voice actor, which I think sounds perfectly fine in my opinion. But overall, I just want to say I am actually really excited to jump in and play this map. So let's talk a little bit about it. So the one thing I was a little confused about is how they're going to be setting up the characters. Of course, we've always had a dedicated crew. Well, this time around, Dempsey, Nikolai, Takio, Richtofen, Maya, Weaver, Carver, and Gray are all considered dedicated crew. Picking and swapping and choosing characters, they'll have unique dialogue between one another, which will of course add to the replayability. You get to hear different dialogue, different conversations, quips, one-liners. I guess it's going to be a pretty interesting set of dialogue options between these characters, and that I'm really looking forward to, especially to see the types of conversations we have between old and new crew. The first zombies experience, Ashes of the Damned, is going to be taking our crew into the dark ether, and just like we saw at the end of the Reckoning, we start at the Janus Towers Plaza. Treyarch says that this first experience can be best described as an off-world Bermuda Triangle where various earthly and celestial locations were transported and dropped into this place. Even though we're starting at Janus Towers, there are many locations we're going to visit, including the Van Dorn Farms. This is going to be part of the beta survival map that we'll get a chance to experience.
So
we have Blackwater Lake, the Ashwood location, Exit 115, which of course features a diner. We have the Zarya Cosmodrome, which we did see some teasers of within the original image that was released. And then we have the Fog. It's just called the Fog. And Treyarch let us know that if you are going to be entering this specific location, you need to be well prepared, because if you try to traverse this foreboding mist, you will be met with a difficulty spike. They just let us know that it's not going to be a gradual increase or anything. It's a significantly challenging environment. So that is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly that has in store. This new experience is going to feature a new wonder vehicle, which we've been hearing a lot of, and it was featured quite a bit in this trailer today. It's called Old Tessie. As you can see from this screenshot, it's just a pickup truck, and you can actually upgrade it over time, because here you can see that there's a Wonderwaff DG2 turret that you can mount. You can actually find Ted, the bus driver's head, to mount in the vehicle as well, among other things to actually attach to it, making the vehicle even stronger. And over time, it can become inoperable if it's beaten to a pulp by the zombies around it. Treyarch did not let us know via the blog post what needs to be done in order to repair this vehicle, but I'd assume that there's going to be multiple pit stop locations that allow us to fix it. In addition to the Wonder Vehicle, our Wonder Weapons are returning, like the Ray Gun and Ray Gun Mark II. We even had a chance to see a brand new Wonder Weapon in this trailer called the Necrofluid Gauntlet. This is a weapon that can be used both at melee range and long range. The dark liquid can be reshaped into powerful spikes that shoot forward, skewering targets at range before being summoned back to the gauntlet, inflicting further damage on the way back to it. And because this weapon's able to skewer things, you can shoot it at items and power-ups to bring them back to your location without getting involved with the zombie horde in front of you. And that's a really cool thing. I can already imagine the type of things that are going to be happening with this and the Easter egg. Okay, let's talk about the new enemy types that we've had a chance to see through the gameplay trailer. First up, we have Ravagers. These are tortured minions of an unknown evil. The Ravager prowls the dark ether on all fours and usually in packs, lurking in the shadows until the moment it can strike. It's drawn to material spoils, so if you're taking down hordes and they drop salvage or ammo or even a power-up, these things can actually come out of the darkness and steal it from you, and that's going to make survival even more stressful. But you don't have to worry about when it's just one or two of them. You have to worry about when it's a pack of Ravagers. Not only will they cause overwhelming damage when there's multiple striking you, but they can also attach to old Tessie, and it's hard to break them free, even at high speeds. The next new enemy type is the Zursa. This is that giant zombified infected bear, which looks absolutely terrifying if you ask me. But not only does it have massive strength, but it also harnesses zombies, you know, like BEE, like, you know, they fly around and make honey. Yeah, there's zombies in the affected parts of the body of the bear. And if you didn't think the running on all fours, slamming into the truck, slashing you with its claws, wounding you to damage was enough, you have these bees that can swarm from hive-like growths out of its head and body and start to sting you and create these toxic clouds, making a bad situation even worse. I'm really nervous to see what happens when multiple bears join the fray, because I thought amalgamations were kind of...
I like hearing that. That's creativity, man. I wish multiplayer can do that, but they really can't. The dumbass niggas that's this is majority too. The dumbass nigga that's playing this, soon as the multiplayer step out of the frame, this is not Call of Duty. This is not Call of Duty. This is not Call of Duty. Zombies, you get the free wholesome hearted. You get to do whatever you want, make that motherfucker cool. Soon as multiplayer do it, what is this? What is this? Shout out to the zombies community. You let that happen, bro. You let that happen, bro. You let them able to do whatever they want to do. I can go crazy, but the stingy niggas over here, soon as they do something, well, I can say like crazy a little bit. Or out of the box. I'm gonna say out of the box. As soon as they do something out of the box, guess what? This is not Call of Duty. What the fuck happened? The 600-pound nigga over here telling what the hell happened to Call of Duty when it's the same shit. Call of Duty always been the fucking same. Just look there. I wish Call of Duty can take this creativity from zombies and put it in the multiplayer, but they know what will happen when that actually happens, bro. So, but shout out to zombies though. Shout out to zombies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like this. I like this. This is that loopable gameplay right here. Multiplayer, I'm on your ass too, boy. I'm in there going crazy, dropping nukes. Yes,
tough, but this sounds like it's going to take it to a whole new level.
Yes, this adds intensity.
Like this enemy type is much faster than the amalgamation, especially because we have our vehicles, and it can actually ram your vehicle and cause destruction. We can create some barriers with some of the tools that are available on the map, like the saw blade trap. This seems to be the ultimate distraction device. It's got 3 megaphones on it. It will actually draw zombies towards it, and that spinning saw blade will cut them down where they need to be cut down. I'm curious if this can also be upgraded at some point, whether it's through different means by finding different material that we can add to it. But overall, it does sound like it's going to be a very fun way to take down zombie hordes. Next up, we have jump pads. This is nothing new. We've seen these in the past. And of course, if you're ever getting surrounded or you just want to quickly maneuver your way to the next area without taking Old Tessie, you'll be able to just jump your way there through the jump pads. Next up, let's talk about returning and new modes for Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. So first off, you got your standard way to play. You can play round-based, Ashes of Damned. You can continue the fight, do the Easter egg, just like we have right now in Black Ops 6. Another thing returning from Black Ops 6 is the directed mode. For those players that maybe don't know how to do Easter eggs or don't have any idea where to start, directed mode will be there for players that want to go that specific route. Now we have a couple of new modes. Well, I should say new, one of which is a returning mode, and that is survival. Survival maps are coming back for the first time since Black Ops 2. This delivers a focused, unfiltered experience based on a small part of Ashes of the Damned at launch. This includes the beta experience is going to be a survival map of the farm. In this mode, there are no quests. Your main objective is to survive. Now, last but certainly not least is a mode that I think a lot of veteran zombie players and people who really like a challenge are going to enjoy. It's called Cursed. This is the mode that leaked the other day. This is a new experience that we hadn't seen before, featuring some legacy mechanics and numerous relics to activate before your run to make the experience harder if you like that challenge. In exchange, you'll get new levels of power, replayability, and of course, rewards. So how is this going to work?
That's loopable. Even if it's the same game, put it in different ways, splice it up, you'll get a different experience throughout all of them. I like that.
Treyarch let us know that you can't even enter the cursed mode until you've fulfilled certain criteria. Once you've figured out how to access the mode itself, you'll start your cursed match with some familiar friends, only a trusty handgun, no loadouts are available, no mini-map, and a classic point system inspired by Black Ops 3. From there, you're going to focus on finding...
That's what I know what they mean. They mean the regular one. This is more of the hardcore old one. This is Cursed. I feel like Cursed is gonna be like the old zombie. You say you start out with a pistol. You gotta go out there and get your guns and shit. I like that mode. You say you gotta hit the criteria. I'm gonna try to hit that criteria. I think I'm going for the zombies camo this year. Cause multiplayer ain't that long. It's quick. It's gonna be quick. I don't need headshots for shotguns or snipers no more. And it's only going to 80. I'll be in here going crazy. I like that. But
Archaic
I think
artifacts of great power hidden away across the dark ether, time, and space. These relics can be themed around a specific totem in Zombies history, and every relic has a unique condition to discover it, and the requirements needed can be unforgiving. Each relic is going to offer a unique challenge to overcome, and once unlocked and applied to a match, several of these modifiers can enable further restrictions that longtime fans will find familiar. For example, a limit of 4 Perca-Colas, or the removal of ammo caches are just 2 examples. Once you start to unlock these relics, they'll also become available in private matches, giving the host the ability to select which relics you want to start the game with, and it can make things even more challenging. Treyarch also let us know through the post-launch seasons, every new Zombies experience will feature new relics to discover and, of course, unlock. They've even made mention that by choosing relics to increase the challenge, that is the key to unlock more powerful relics, as well as granting you classified benefits and rewards unique to this particular mode. What I'm really looking forward to are those zombie players that love to give themselves a challenge and just activate every single relic. I'm hoping that by the end of this game's life, we could see something very similar to Call of Duty Ghosts and the Extinction mode. If you guys remember, there were relics available there, and you could activate every single one of those relics if you wanted to. I'm hoping that they allow this here. I want to see some of the best zombie players in the world try to activate all the relics and survive as long as they can. It just sounds interesting to me.
Yeah,
all right, so for the final part
lit.
of this video, I want to talk about returning features, new features, updated things that we're going to be seeing, quality of life improvements. Starting off with armored zombie adjustments. Armored zombies are going to be getting, I guess you would say, a nerf, essentially. So armored zombies will no longer super sprint and higher rounds. Treyarch went on to say that heavy and light armor zombies are weighed down by their armor, and they're slower and more durable. But the armor is going to be more easily destroyed this time around, but more durable against explosive splash damage. Certain weapon and attachment combos will also be more effective against armored enemies. I'm guessing FMJ is going to have a bigger case use against zombies this time around. So I'm really looking forward to that. Super sprinters are also getting nerfed as well. So these fast moving super sprinter zombies, which start to appear at higher rounds, will increase in frequency at a lower rate as rounds continue past 55. And the maximum number of super sprinter zombies in a round will be lowered slightly while still keeping the challenge high. I'm guessing the reason that they did this is specifically because there's a lot of fast moving zombies in this new map. When you talk about the Ravagers, when you talk about the actual Zursa, the bear, I'm pretty sure in those higher rounds, things are going to get even more hectic just alone with those enemies, as I'm sure they will appear more often. Sliding knockdowns are also going to be added to this as well. Sliding into normal zombie types will knock it down, but it won't inflict a ton of damage. So you don't even need PhD slider at this point. You can just slide right into an enemy and knock them down, which I think is kind of cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Just like Black Ops 6, we're going to have the return of Essence, our points, of course, to open up doors, to buy wall buys, use the mystery box, and so on and so forth. And salvage is returning as well. So we're going to have the same upgrade system with the arsenal machine going from green rarity all the way up to orange. And certain attachments will affect how much you get on salvage. Of course, the Vulture Aid perk will also do that as well. There are some changes coming to Essence and Salvage, though. So, for example, Gobblegums can now be recycled to receive instant additional Essence. The amount you receive is determined by the Gobblegum rarity. The salvage bonus from certain silencer attachments performed similarly to Black Ops 6 have been lowered, so other muzzle attachments become a valid choice. Personally, I don't know how to feel about that. I thought suppressors were perfectly fine, especially because they didn't actually affect too much gameplay-wise. They just gave bonus salvage, and I always liked that, and that's why I always use.
No lies on the, I don't know what the fuck he just said, bro.
Suppressors. Suppressors were perfectly fine, especially because gum rarity. The salvage bonus from certain silencer attachments performed similarly to Black Ops 6 have been lowered, so other muzzle attachments become a valid choice. Personally, I don't know how to feel about that. I thought suppressors were perfectly fine, especially because they didn't actually affect too much gameplay-wise. They just gave bonus salvage, and I always liked that, and that's why I always use suppressors. Next up, they're talking about amassing missed salvage. If you find salvage hard to come by, expect some help in this regard. Every 10 rounds, you're awarded 50% of any salvage you previously missed picking up, which has subsequently disappeared, along with an on-screen message indicating this good fortune. So this is really cool. A lot of the times when you're running away from giant hordes of zombies, Essence is left behind, and by the time you go back there after taking down the horde, the salvage has disappeared because you've already taking down more zombies, and they need to pop that stuff out so the game can continue to run smoothly. But I love that even if you missed it, you're still going to get, 50% of what you lost anyway. So that's still a nice little bonus, and having that happen every 10 rounds is cool. I like that. Of course, it wouldn't be zombies without power-ups. They're coming back, so we got all of our classic power-ups making a return. And just like BO6, there will be more secretive ways to find these power-ups. For those of you that didn't know, these power-ups were just kind of hidden around the map, and if you shoot them, you can instantly activate like a double points or an insta-kill or a bonus points. I've always liked that. I thought that was really fun and a nice way to reward those players that are really searching high and low, especially with the amount of detail that we're seeing already in this new map. We also have some quality of life improvements and changes to these power-ups. So for example, the max ammo power-up will now fill your equipment and your ammo. The fire sale will now temporarily reduce cost of traps and wall buys. The random perk power-up will now randomly drop alongside all the other power-ups, but they did say a number of perks must be purchased by all teammates before this power-up can appear. Multiple power-ups can drop in a single round, and it's now more frequent. There's a new Gobblegum called Power Vacuum that increases the chances of power-ups spawning after zombie kills. And any Gobblegums that summon power-ups like Killjoy on the house and Hidden Power, they're now automatically going to apply, which is great. Before, they would spawn the power-up and you'd have to run through it. You don't physically have to do that anymore, which I think is a really good change. Moving on, let's talk about our 24 different types of enhancements. So, of course, we got our Perk-a-Colas, 11 of which are returning, which is very good news, meaning we're going to get way more new content this year in BO7. But we're going to get one new perk at the launch of this game, and it's called Wisp T. This is what it looks like. Honestly, love the way the machine looks. This perk specializes in adding a protective ethereal creature that remains near the player, appearing only after the player inflicts a large amount of damage to the enemy. If you use a field upgrade, equipment, or high damage item, you will quicken the summoning. And once it's summoned, the Wisp will begin to slay nearby enemies for around 30 seconds. 2 minutes later, it can be summoned again. The Wisp is summoned after defeating a number of zombies. The number is important rather than the speed of the slaying. Though obviously the Wisp...
You got the perk upgrades? You still got that? Let me know.
Will appear more quickly if the enemies are killed with haste. This Wisp will target all enemy types, and it will also realize the importance of the turning round, and it will refrain from killing the last zombie remaining, which I think is a huge positive to this new perk. Just like Black Ops 6, there's going to be minor and major augments. So here are the augments that we have for this Wisp T. We have Mask of the Wrath. The demon does more damage. Mask of Salvation. The fox can revive you while it's active. This can be done up to 3 times per match. Mask of Distraction. The monkey attracts enemies and does more damage in an area. Mask of Benevolence. The maiden does not attack but will periodically heal you. The minor augments include the extension, increasing the wisp's lifetime. Haste, decreasing the cooldown before a wisp can be summoned. Zombie Sitter. The wisp will attract and avoid damaging the last zombie in the round until the round times out. And finally, we have Fetcher. The wisp will pick up items and power-ups for you aside from the nuke. This is a really cool sounding perk. I love the idea of getting new perks. And because all 11 of those perks are there, including this new one, we're probably going to see more of this throughout the seasons, hopefully. And because there are so many perks available at launch, there are changes being made to the Wonder Fizz and how perks are purchased in general. So the base purchase price of Perk-Colas are based on previously purchased perks, and increases to the price now do not include ones that you may have obtained for free using power-ups, gobblegums, or Easter eggs. This is going to be really nice because there are so many. In Black Ops 6, the Wonder Fizz machine became available at round 25. In Black Ops 7, the Wonder Fizz machine is dependent on you and your teammates. It now also arrives after a certain number of perks have been bought, including repurchases by all players. So you can now make the Wonder Fizz appear sooner depending on, I guess, things that are done in the match. I really like that. Round 25, it happens pretty quickly in BO6, but I like the idea of having the Wonder Fizz available sooner so you can get the perks that aren't necessarily available in a machine right off the bat. So I'm really liking what they've done with perks. Moving on, let's talk about ammo mods. There are going to be 5 returning ammo mods with one brand new one called Fireworks. As the light show begins, any zombie caught within its vicinity will be damaged, as well as stars launching into the skies will explode and cause even more damage. That explosion alone will cause a set of individual flares from the stars to fly out and home in on additional random threats within the general vicinity. And the chance of fireworks activating depends on the enemy type, and once the light show is over, expect a small cooldown window before it's available again. We have a couple of major and minor augments, including Big Game. Fireworks can activate on elite enemies, creating bigger light show. Starburst. Fireworks explode immediately, sending flares through enemies in all directions. Weeping Willow. Instead of targeting enemies, the flares will land on the ground and explode for a while. And Firewheel, creating 2 fire wheels that spin around and damage enemies. Minor augments include Starlight. Fireworks that launch more flares. Big Bang, fireworks that deal more damage to special and elite enemies. High Yield, increasing the area of effect. And Short Fuse. This will reduce the cooldown, allowing you to do it more often. Treyarch also let us know that we may have noticed that there are 2 ammo mods, Lightmend and Shatterblast, and 3 field upgrades, Tesla Storm, Frostblast, and Mr. Peaks, not being listed as returning, but they are going to be returning. They're just coming during season 1. It's kind of an interesting situation. There are some new mechanics, which we'll talk about in just a moment, but let's list out the final field upgrade. There's one new one coming, and that is Toxic Growth. We did get a chance to see this during the trailer. This isn't necessarily new. We've had this in the past, and I've always loved this field upgrade, so I'm glad that it's coming back. This is going to allow you to hold down and block narrow pathways or incoming enemies with the latest plant life. It will add a powerful improvement to your capabilities that inflicts toxic damage. It will also grow to a specific size every time you set it down. Enemies that move through the toxic growth are slowed as they're poisoned and torn apart, and the toxic growth will weaken before fully disintegrating after time and inflicting a set amount of damage. Growths don't harm you or your teammates. No more than 3 toxic growths can be active at any given time. The major augments include Urticant, which is toxic growth takes up a wider area, and enemies that enter the growth continue to be slowed after leaving it. Core Deception, the first normal or special enemy to walk through the growth is entangled and charmed, attacking other enemies that enter. Pollination, enemies killed by the growth explode, dealing toxic damage to nearby enemies and slowing them. And last, we have Zukari, the first normal or special enemy to walk through the growth becomes the toxic growth itself. That's interesting. Minor augments include Ankle Shredder. Enemies moving through the growth are even slower. Green Thumb significantly increases the growth health. Extra Charge gives you an extra charge. And of course, we have Plant Food. Killing enemies with toxic growth has a chance to drop healing fruit. So we've been talking a lot about those augments, and there's actually going to be a pretty awesome quality of life improvement. So Black Ops 6 augment research will continue with all of your completed augments unlocked already for Black Ops 7. So if you haven't played zombies yet in Black Ops 6, you should jump in and unlock all those augments because they'll be available for you in Black Ops 7. But there's going to be a couple of new augments for every single one of these, and if you unlock all 8 augments in your research diagram, you will unlock the extra slot for the minor augment, which enables you to add an additional second minor augment in the game, which makes it even more powerful. I think that's awesome. Let's talk about Gobblegums, because there are a couple of changes coming through.
Which ones we
so
get for pre-order?
Gobblegums have also been incorporated into Dead Ops Arcade. That is coming back this year for BO7. But there are going to be modes specifically where Gobblegums are disabled if you want a more pure form of Dead Ops Arcade. Like we mentioned before, you can now recycle Gobblegum and convert them into essence. If you decide to convert one of these gumballs, you don't get to keep it, obviously. It's just like if you were to consume it, except you crush it in your hand and you'll be awarded essence. Depending on the rarity is the amount of essence you're going to get. So Whimsical will give the fewest essence, while Ultra Rarity will give the most amount. And Treyarch even confirmed if there's a double points active and you decide to use this method of getting essence from crushing your Gobblegum, you will get double essence from that. If another player has profit sharing active and you decide to crush your Gobblegum to get essence, all players will be awarded that essence as well. There's also some brand new Gobblegums coming through the game, like Aftertaste, Requipment, Power Vacuum Roundoff, Armageddon, and Gift Card. Gift Card being an Ultra, it gives you an instant 30,000 essence, and it cannot be combined with other bonuses. So I'm guessing we can't get 60,000 essence right off the bat with a double points power up, but still, that's crazy. Ammo caches are, of course, returning, and they're going to look a little bit different this time. You can see that Mr. Peaks is on the box, and it's much glowy and bright. I kind of like the way that the new ammo cache looks like. Of course, it wouldn't be zombies without the mystery box, and that is going to be returning. However, there are going to be some changes to it. This includes melee weapons no longer appearing in the mystery box, which I think a lot of people are going to be happy about. The mystery box will no longer give support items like score streaks, so you don't have to worry about, rolling a mutant injection or a helicopter. New for Black Ops 7, though, the mystery box can have a chance to provide you with an ether tool to instantly upgrade your weapon's rarity. I do like that. Cool with that. And with Black Ops 7, the chance to obtain a wonder weapon gradually increases a bit more than previously as rounds progress, but are still a rare phenomenon. Crafting tables are going to be returning with the introduction of an all-new Disciple injection, so very similar to the Mutant injection. When you turn into a Disciple, you have 3 specific things you're able to do. The grab and hurl. You can raise a normal zombie at range into the air and hurl them at other foes. You could drain life by focusing your feeding powers to slow down and drain the energy from normal, special, or even elite zombies. And then you got the Unholy Scream, which will unleash, well, you guessed it, an unholy scream, and anybody caught within that will be stunned. Since we're playing a new game, there's of course going to be new tacticals available, like the Psych Grenade and Hunter Bot, which we talked about in the video from yesterday. Psych Grenade will explode on impact with the ground, releasing a red cloud of hallucinogenic gas, which will charm zombies, and the Hunter Bot will home towards nearby special and elite enemies before exploding on impact. New lethals include the Cluster Grenade and the Point Turret. The Cluster Grenade will scatter small explosives when detonated, allowing for secondary impacts that can hammer a horde. And the Point Turret will be a small deployable sentry turret that sticks to surfaces and automatically shoots at enemies, distracting and damaging them. Like mentioned earlier, the Arsenal is coming back, and this means ammo mods. You can upgrade here. You can upgrade the rarity tier of your weapons. Although they did change this a little bit. Uncommon is now 1,000 salvage, rare is 1,500 salvage, epic is 2,000 salvage, and the legendary orange upgrade is 5,000 salvage. The rarity of your weapon can occasionally be upgraded via rare ground and reward loot called ether tools, which we already discussed before. So these can now appear randomly by taking down enemies, which I'm actually really for. I really liked this back in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. There were a couple of modes that allowed enemies to drop the ether tools, and it really made upgrading easier. The Pack-a-Punch machine is going to work a little bit differently this time around. And basically, instead of just going to one specific location, the Pack-a-Punch is actually going to be attached to the truck. It's going to be attached to the Wonder Vehicle, Old Tessie, which is kind of an interesting idea. It's going to be attached to the rear bumper
I like that. I like that. Now, is it like, I know he probably gonna explain it, but is it like it's a certain time you can actually hit this motherfucker, or you can hit it every time? Hopefully, it's a certain time because you can hit it every time. I don't know, like Kinder didn't tell him. You already know what we had to do. Teleport. Hey, we finna teleport, man.
Bumper of it, so you can just go up and pack a punch. And by the way, I should add, I really like the way that this camo looks. I like the pack a punch camo upgrade. It's nice. In this game, instead of having Sam trials, because it really wouldn't make much sense here, we're going to have TED tasks, which is pretty much the same exact thing. But there's going to be one big upgrade. If you end up completing a task and getting the highest rarity completion, if you get a perk reward, it's usually going to be a perk that you don't already have, which I really like. So thankfully, they're changing that. X-filling is still going to be a thing, except this time around, we don't know what's going on with Raptor 1, so we can't just call in our helicopter. We're going to have a phone booth. Essentially, we're going to have this booth that will sometimes have a telephone ringing, and if you answer it, you could choose the exfil. Similar to BO6, it will happen every, 5 or 6 rounds or whatever, except this time there's a new feature where if teammates decide that they don't want to exfil, you can leave without your team, and your
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it,
man.
just by
I was chilling.
team can continue fighting on another day, which I think is kind of a cool idea. It gives players a chance to bounce out early if they need to and keep their team playing if they wanted to just go on a few more rounds. Melee weapons are also being adjusted. Critical hits are going to be added to melee weapons, meaning you are able to aim specifically for the head and do critical damage, earning more essence. You have more control over the swing and arc of the weapon from start to impact. And melee heavy attacks are coming through, giving you an interesting way to utilize every single melee weapon coming to the game. The heavy attack was adjusted to be a little bit slower, but you could deal much more damage, and this is going to be available on any melee weapon, so it's going to really switch it up a bit. Black Ops 7 is also featuring a new enhancement called Health Overcharge. This is basically an overheal. This is a modifying buff that allows players to temporarily increase their maximum health using certain augments or equipment, and this is how it's going to work. So, enhanced health will allow you to raise your HP above the standard amount of health, and the most you can raise it by is plus 100 above your health maximum. This is going to be, combined augment effects of like Juggernaut's probiotic and the stim shot equipment. So you can do that and get 100 health above what you're normally used to. Overheal will allow you to employ specific tactics, and you can increase your health even further. This bonus to your health is only temporary though, meaning unlike your regular health, it doesn't regenerate over time. The bonus is lost once your current health drops below the normal maximum, but it can be temporarily reacquired. I'm gonna be honest, it's a little bit confusing because they didn't really give us any more information about it other than that example. So once we get in game and start to actually see how that works, I'm guessing it will be a little bit easier to understand. Revives are also going to be changing just a little bit. So now there's going to be auto revive on a new round. So if you're in the downed position and a new round begins, instead of needing your team to come and save you, if you're in that prone position, you'll automatically be revived since it is a new round. Area of effectiveness is also going to be changing. So for example, Deadwire's lightning strike normally would count as critical damage, headshot damage. That's not going to be the case anymore because it doesn't go towards any one location. It just kind of hits all over the zombies when it's passing through them. And the same thing can be said about any equipment and some traps. I'm wondering if this change was made specifically because of what was going on with Citadel. If you guys remember that oil trap trick where you can basically throw down a Molotov in the oil trap and every single one of those pieces of damage would count as a critical for whatever weapon you were using. And it was a really easy way to get camo challenges done. I'm happy that they never changed it though, because it's still one of my favorite ways to play that map. We're going to have a brand new zombies intel menu with Black Ops 7. So as you're collecting audio logs, artifacts, and other documents in the form of intel, you'll be able to experience this stuff outside of the game, get a better look at it. Stuff like this we've seen in the past. So I'm happy that they're adding it here. Save, load, and rejoin is coming through, so you can save and load again. The scoreboard will be there, and rejoining features all return in BO7. Same with solo pausing. They didn't mention anything about the 15-minute timer, but I'm going to assume it's going to be exactly the same. The firing range is returning, allowing you to check out your setup before you jump into the game. And the armory is coming back, allowing players to unlock items, equipment, or challenges that you may have missed, and you can complete them by doing a challenge or earning XP. This also applies to previous seasons, so that means like functional weapons and things if you never unlock them through the battle pass. Dead Ops Arcade is returning, and there's multiple ways to play. You got the casual way, a more forgiving experience with round-based zombie elements. The standard way with regular difficulty and round-based experiences. Hardcore, it's going to be coming at post-launch. This is classic Dead Ops Arcade gameplay, as the Pop-A-Back is taking away your Gobblegums, the Slayer Mart, and a few other luxuries. And there's standard advanced start, which will be coming at post-launch. You can begin your next standard solo game at the highest round you previously achieved. Stats, challenges, and leaderboards are not available in this mode, but that's really nice because it gives you a chance to start off where you left off if you want to complete that story. On top of that, you can play it a couple of different ways, including a first-person mode. If you want to just play first-person, you can do that right off the rip instead of needing to get a power-up, which I think is great. And you can actually get progression over all of these modes that we just talked about. So very similar to Warzone, Zombies, Campaign. You can earn camos, you can rank up, and of course, you can earn Battle Pass progression just by playing here. Well, y'all, you made it to the end of this video. There's a lot of stuff to discuss in this blog post. I did not imagine that they'd give us so much information, but after seeing what they did with multiplayer the other day, I was shocked. Which, by the way, if you missed that video, I'll put a link down below if you want all of the multiplayer.
The game looking solid, man. I can't lie. The game's looking solid, bro. I like this. I like what I'm hearing. Just like with NBA, I'm gonna keep saying this. Just like with NBA 2K26. I like what I heard. Now, when we play it, it gotta play how I heard. You feel me? On the heard how I play, you feel me? So how y'all feeling? I like it. I like the looks of everything. Hopefully the DLC just keep improving. Remember, this is the last Treyarch game that we're gonna get in a while. So 2 years, Sledgehammer, not next. Infinity Ward's next, and then Sledgehammer. And I think hopefully we get another Treyarch game so that they give them a break. This is the game that was supposed to drop last year, but since GTA is supposed to drop this year, guess what? You're getting it now. I stand on that. Same with 2K25, Madden 25, any game that came out back in 24. It was just a placeholder. Swear to God. But let me know how y'all feel about this. I like all of it. I like what I'm hearing. Let me know if y'all playing it. Let me know if y'all getting that zombies camo, because I will. I'm not gonna lie. Looking nice. But I'm out of here, Scar. Like, share me. Yeah.